Welcome to the deep dive. Ever find yourself kind of at a crossroads? You need a clear path forward, but you feel maybe weighed down by past stuff or just external pressures?
hmm
Well, today we're stepping back in time. We're looking at King David's really raw, heartfelt plea in Psalm 25.
Yeah, it's a powerful one.
We're going to try and unpack how this ancient roadmap didn't just speak to his deepest struggles back then, but actually offers surprising clarity, maybe even courage for navigating our own complex lives today.
Absolutely.
Our mission really is to get past just the words on the page, to understand the spirit of this prayer and see how its wisdom can genuinely encourage our obedience and strengthen our faith in something bigger.
Indeed. And like you said, it's not just some old poem or historical artifact. It really feels like a living spiritual blueprint.
Blueprint, yeah, I like that.
We'll dive into David's very personal pleas. His vulnerability is striking, his trust. It's almost absolute.
Yeah.
And we'll see how these ancient feelings offer, well, powerful, lasting lessons for our own challenges.
Right.
How to foster genuine growth, build a stronger, more authentic connection with a higher power. It's about finding courage when you feel lost, really, and grounding when things feel shaky.
Okay, so let's really unpack this then. Song 25, it isn't just any prayer. It's often described as deeply personal, a real heartfelt cry, filled with humility, trust, and this deep longing for guidance, and importantly for forgiveness too.
Yes.
David kicks it off with this really striking declaration of trust. Unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. O my God, I trust in thee. Let me not be ashamed. Let not mine enemies triumph over me. What's so significant about starting right there?
Well, what's truly fascinating, I think, and maybe easy to miss, is that David, a king, a powerful figure, facing what sounds like serious adversity enemies, maybe political trouble. Who knows he doesn't lead with, like, destroy my enemies.
Right, not a battle cry first.
No. His first concern seems to be his integrity, his character. He's asking not just for deliverance from threats, but that he shouldn't be put to shame, that his standing, maybe his spiritual standing, isn't compromised.
Yeah.
It shows this deep understanding that the real win isn't just about the external situation, but about how you stand before God, before your own conscience maybe. It's a prayer for character vindication, not just a tactical victory.
That's a powerful distinction because often, we jump straight to praying for the problem to just go away.
Fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But David seems to be looking past the immediate battle, doesn't he, to the deeper moral and spiritual side.
Exactly.
And here's where it gets really interesting for me. He doesn't just stop at asking for protection. He pivots almost straight away to this urgent request for direction.
Yes, the guidance piece.
Show me thy ways, O Lord. Teach me thy paths. Lead me in thy truth and teach me. And he backs it up by saying, for thou art the God of my salvation. On thee do I wait all the day. What does that shift tell us about what David truly values here?
Well, this points to, I think, a critical aspect of spiritual maturity. David gets that real help isn't just removing the obstacle, like a temporary fix. It's about knowing the right way forward. He's not just saying, get me out of this mess. He's pleading, almost, show me how to live through this with integrity, maybe even how to avoid this kind of mess in the future.
Okay.
It's interesting. The Hebrew uses two different words there for ways and paths. It suggests not just a general direction, but like detailed guidance, step by step.
Like a spiritual map.
Exactly. A very detailed one. It shows this deep yearning for meticulous guidance, not just a vague sense of direction. And seeking divine truth like this, well, that's fundamental for obedience, isn't it? And for building a real active faith. It's a whole view of help, not just saved from, but guided through.
So, like you said, GPS for the soul, not just a rescue helicopter.
Yeah, something like that.
But what's equally striking is how he then turns and confronts his own past. He prays, remember not the sins of my youth, nor my transgressions. That takes guts.
It really does.
According to thy mercy, remember thou me for thy goodness' sake, O Lord. He's appealing directly to God's character, God's mercy. Not just asking to escape consequences, but for a sort of fundamental revaluation based on divine goodness itself.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, David's prayer really highlights the nature of the divine he believes in. He describes God as good and upright is the Lord, therefore will he teach sinners in the way.
Okay.
The meek will he guide in judgment, and the meek will he teach his way. This lays out a crucial principle. Guidance, understanding, it's given not to the proud or the ones who think they have it all figured out.
Right, the self-sufficient.
Exactly. but to those who are humble, who acknowledge their need, their desperate need sometimes for teaching. And that truth, well, it encourages us to approach the divine with a receptive heart, doesn't it? It strengthens our faith that even if we've messed up, there's still a desire to lead us forward.
So humility is the key to unlock that guidance.
It seems central. And it's fascinating. David's appeal to mercy, here the Hebrew word often used is hesed,
He said, right?
which isn't just like passive pity. It's active, loyal, steadfast love. It's about covenant faithfulness. So he's appealing to God's very character, his loyalty, not just hoping for a moment of sympathy.
Wow. So it's a powerful, almost paradoxical idea. Guidance and wisdom are reserved for the humble. It suggests pride isn't just, unattractive. It actively blocks wisdom.
It seems to, like interference on the line.
Yeah. And David asking God to remember his mercy and forget his past sins, that's a remarkably bold thing to ask. It almost sounds audacious.
It does sound audacious, but it touches on such a deep truth about relationship, about growth. It teaches us that our past doesn't have to define us if mercy is the lens we're seen through. And that perspective, right there in David's vulnerable prayer, it's incredibly liberating, isn't it, for anyone wrestling with guilt or regret?
Absolutely.
It's not just wishing for amnesia, like let's pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's more like an active declaration that God's character, He's has said, that steadfast love is stronger, more defining than our own mistakes.
So it's not just forgiveness, it's like a reevaluation of who you are.
Exactly. Through the lens of grace, it allows us to move forward, not trapped by past mistakes, trusting in that forgiveness and the promise of, well, new beginnings. That builds incredible spiritual resilience.
Okay, so we've journeyed through David's vulnerability, his deep need for direction. We've glimpsed this unwavering divine mercy he appeals to. But how does all this ancient truth translate, from Psalm 25 into the messy reality of our modern life?
Right, the practical application.
Yeah. Let's unpack the practical wisdom here. How can it really encourage our obedience, strengthen our faith today?
Okay, well, firstly, I think Psalm 25 just invites us powerfully to practice radical vulnerability. In our prayers, sure, but even just in our reflections, how we think about ourselves.
The radical vulnerability, yeah.
David is shockingly honest. His fears, his sins, his confusion, it's all out there. And think about our culture today, right?
Yeah.
It's often obsessed with curated images projecting perfection.
On social media, at work, everywhere.
Everywhere. This psalm basically gives us permission to drop the mask. It encourages you to speak plainly, authentically, whether that's in prayer, or maybe journaling, or even being honest in therapy. And that act of vulnerability, it isn't weakness. It's actually the foundation for deeper trust. And maybe paradoxically, it strengthens our faith in a higher power who sees and hears the real us, without judgment.
That's such a crucial point. It's not just wishing for things to magically get better,
No.
but actually asking for direction on how to walk the right path through whatever it is. And that applies everywhere, doesn't it? Big career choices, tricky relationships, just our daily spiritual walk.
Exactly. It's seeking that divine guidance for our actions, our choices. And that's a direct path to obedience, isn't it?
Yeah.
It shapes how we move forward, not just wishing for a different destination. So yeah, it's not fix this for me, but show me how to live through this.
Okay, got it.
And then deeply connected to David's plea about his past. We learn maybe one of life's most freeing lessons. Don't let your past imprison your present.
Yeah.
Or dictate your future.
Remember not the sins of my youth.
Such a powerful request.
Yeah.
David asking that, it probably resonates with anyone who's ever scrolled back through their old Facebook posts and just cringed.
Oh, yeah. Delete.
Haha, right. It's that feeling, but magnified hugely and applied to something far deeper. It's that basic human desire for a clean slate, isn't it? To not be forever defined by our mistakes, big or small. Growth means actively asking for mercy, but also extending it to ourselves, to others. And that builds incredible resilience in our faith. It encourages us to keep striving, keep trying to live that life of obedience, knowing we aren't permanently stuck in our past failures. That perspective is just. It's vital for strengthening faith because it allows for ongoing progress. Transformation is possible.
It really does flip the script on how the world often operates, doesn't it?
Oh, so.
Well, the world often pushes self-promotion, right? Act like you have all the answers, project strength, invincibility.
Yeah.
But this psalm says, no, humility is the real superpower.
Right.
The teachable, the meek, as David puts it, the ones who admit they don't know everything. They're the ones who actually gain wisdom and guidance.
That's a great way to put it. True strength comes from admitting what you don't know and seeking help. It's an act of radical trust, really.
Okay, and what else? Is there a final piece?
Yes. And it's maybe less obvious, but just as vital, I think. Psalm 25 teaches us to guard our integrity as closely as we guard our safety.
Or integrity.
Yeah, David asks, "Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait on thee." He literally puts integrity, his character, on par with needing physical protection.
Wow.
Your character, your integrity, your uprightness, your moral consistency, that's your real long-term defense in life. It protects you from, well, burnout, from trying to keep up facades, from being manipulated by others, from the deep regret that comes when you live out of sync with your core values.
So living with integrity isn't just a nice moral choice.
No, it's way more than that. It's a profound act of obedience. It's a testament to a strong, resilient faith that proves itself through how you actually live, day in, day out, especially when no one's watching. It really solidifies your relationship with that higher power.
What an incredible deep dive into Psalm 25. It really does feel like a spiritual roadmap, doesn't it? For anyone feeling lost or maybe ashamed or just overwhelmed by life.
It really is.
It's not just a cry for help, it feels like a profound invitation. An invitation to be reshaped by, well, actively seeking that divine guidance, by courageously practicing humility and vulnerability, and placing that unwavering trust in a higher power's steadfast mercy.
And that raises, I think, an important question for you listening right now. Have you ever considered that maybe the clearest path forward isn't found by just charging ahead, armed with your own plans and sheer willpower, but perhaps by slowing down, humbly admitting what you don't know, and truly trusting in something greater than yourself to show you the full way?